This is the second video in a two-part series. If you haven't checked out Intermittent Fasting Health and Wellness 4A, please watch that one before you look at this one. This is 4B, and it just talks about intermittent fasting timing so that you can get a little bit of more information about it. Fasting versus non-fasting timing. Fasting for longer periods of time, again, lowers your insulin, and this time it gives us what's called a better beta cell response. This B that looks like this fancy B is just a beta in a Greek letter. So these are beta cells. What is a beta cell response, right? The main functions of beta cells is to produce insulin, and it secrete insulin into your body. When blood glucose levels start to rise, when we're digesting food, our beta cells will respond and secrete some of their stored insulin, while at the same time they increase the production of the hormone of insulin, right? So beta cells have a lot to do with our insulin response. Increased insulin will allow glucose and protein to get into your cells, right, across the cellular membrane. Alternate day fasting is the best strategy. We talked about 16-8, 24, one meal a day, but the best process probably is alternate day fasting. And you can sometimes fast for 36 hours. So that would be one whole day, right? 12 hours into the next day, and then you can eat all you want, right? That's a alternate day fasting schedule. When you do this, you will typically eat 35% fewer calories just because you're not used to eating those 3 meals a day. You'll lose more fat on your trunk, right down the middle, and will reduce the amount of amino acids in the blood. Proteins are made of amino acids. We looked at glucose hooked together gives us glycogen. When we hook amino acids together, we get proteins. So this reduces the amount of those amino acids, that protein that's been broken down in your bloodstream. It will increase the circulating ketones. I talked a little bit about ketones in the last video, but that will help preserve your muscles. We want our muscles preserved so when we do our workouts, which will be our next series of videos. You need to increase the amount of protein you consume, though, on eating days. And it's extra, older women need to have an extra amount of protein because of these, if you're doing this fasting protocol. What about working out while fasting? Protein synthesis, the making of proteins, increases for about 24 hours after your workout. Post-workout protein synthesis, right? So you need to try to schedule your workouts to your fasting schedule. I've watched a lot of recommendations and a lot of articles that have been published that you should always exercise in a fasted state. If you can't do that, if you become too nauseated or something, then you could eat a little bit of something, but it's better for you to exercise in a fasted state. You do your resistance training on your eating days. Right? So those are the days on alternate days when we are eating. That's when we want to lift our weights because it's metabolically optimal for you to do this. You might not be eating when you exercise, but later on in the day you're going to be eating. We want to do our HIIT training on fasting days. If you don't know what HIIT training is, check out the video number 3 because I explain it to you. This taxes our central nervous system, CNS, that's your brain and spinal cord, straight down your body. So those HIIT workouts will put tax on your nervous system, so you want to do those on our fasting days. And it also raises what are called our catecholamines. That's your norepinephrine, noradrenaline, adrenaline, all of those things that you need. When you're fasting, your body automatically will produce more adrenaline, and I really don't have to explain to you why that happens, just so that you know that it does. And so it kind of stresses, it puts a stress on that. HIIT increases what's called fatty acid oxidation in the mitochondria. If you don't know what a mitochondria is, this is the powerhouse of the cell. This is where we get all of our energy. So cells that need more energy will have more mitochondria. Your heart cells, your skeletal muscle cells, right? And we're oxidating these fatty acids. You can also incorporate what's called steady state cardio, running at a certain pace, walking at a certain pace, on our fasting days, and that will help you to get stronger, help your body to become stronger. Lastly, we want to look at supplements. If you don't like to take supplements, you can ignore this part, but some people like to know what can we take into our body to help it function better. So fasting days versus our eating days. On our fasting days, we want to have magnesium. Again, we go back to that ATP. ATP is the energy produced by the mitochondria in your body, right? That's in the mitochondria part of the cell. And then you can also do, there's a lot of information out there about apple cider vinegar. That's made of acetic acid. Vinegar is acetic acid. And it helps enhance our fasting benefits, plus it helps burn fat. There's also supplements out there you can take that instead of drinking the apple cider vinegar, you can chew gummies or take vitamins. On our eating days over here, we want our omega-3s, right? Omega vitamins are very good, your fish oil, things like that. That increases thermogenesis. Thermo, right, means heat. Genesis is the beginning. So we're increasing the heat your body makes, which will burn more fat and calories. We also want what's called uracilic acid. Might be difficult to find. You can take that on your eating days. And vitamin D. Talk all day about vitamin D. Everyone should be taking vitamin D. It promotes calcium absorption in your intestines, in your gut, in your stomach, right? It's needed for your bone growth. It helps your neuromuscular system and your immune system, and it improves resistance to disease. So if you don't want to take any of the rest of these, try to take a vitamin D supplement daily, because this will help your body and almost all of your different systems. So if you would like these intermittent fasting videos or any of our health and wellness videos, please subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up and share these videos with your friends.